I got pregnant with my fiancé's brother 2 months before the wedding. He left the country. Years later, I showed up begging for help, and his cold refusal broke me in ways I'll never heal from. I need to tell someone this story before I lose the right to tell it at all. My name is Mia Hart, I'm 29, and until 2 months ago, I thought I had my life figured out. I manage a small indie bookshop in Naperville during the day and do freelance copywriting at night. Not glamorous, but it paid the bills and left me time to plan my wedding to Declan Shaw. Declan was everything I thought I wanted. Regional sales director at a renewable energy firm, stable, successful, the kind of guy who remembers anniversaries and brings flowers every Friday. We'd been together 4 years, engaged for 1, with our wedding set for 8 weeks from now. October wedding, autumn colors, the whole Pinterest perfect dream I'd been planning since I was 12. His family loved me. Or at least, they were good at pretending. His parents, old money from the North Shore, treated me like the daughter they never had. And then there was Elliot. Elliot Shaw, 28, Declan's younger brother. Where Declan was steady and predictable, Elliot was chaos in an expensive suit. He owned 3 boutique hotels and was always launching some new restaurant concept. The kind of guy who ordered bottles of wine that cost more than my car payment and somehow made you feel grateful he was sharing it with you. 2 months ago, the Shaw family had their annual summer party at their Lake Forest estate. Declan had to leave early, emergency conference call with Hong Kong or Singapore or somewhere that required him to be on his laptop at 3 a.m. I stayed. That was my first mistake. Elliot kept refilling my wine glass. We were talking about the wedding, about how Declan was the lucky one, about how I was too interesting for his brother's suburban dreams. The next morning, I woke up in one of the guest rooms with a splitting headache and gaps in my memory that I've been trying to fill ever since. Elliot was gone. Not just from the house, gone from the country. His assistant called it a sudden expansion opportunity in Dubai. He'd been planning it for months, apparently. The timing was just coincidental. 3 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. The math was undeniable. Declan and I had been trying for over a year with no success. He'd even started talking about fertility specialists. But that one night, that one horrible mistake, and suddenly there were 2 pink lines staring back at me from a gas station bathroom test. I told myself I could handle it. I'd pass the baby off as Declan's, we'd move up the wedding, and no one would ever have to know. Women had been keeping worse secrets for centuries. I practiced my surprised face in the mirror. Practiced how I'd tell Declan we'd finally gotten our miracle. But here's what I didn't know. Elliot had left me something before he disappeared. $50,000, sitting in an account with my name on it. For expenses, the note said. I found out about it the same day I was planning to tell Declan about the pregnancy. I stared at that bank statement for an hour. Why would he leave me money? Guilt? Insurance? A payoff? The implications made me sick. If anyone found out about this account, it would look like I'd been having an affair. Like I'd been paid for my silence. Or worse, paid for something else entirely. I decided to pretend the account didn't exist. Didn't touch a penny. Didn't tell anyone. Just kept going to work, kept planning the wedding, kept smiling when Declan's mother showed me mother of the groom dresses. Yesterday, Declan came home early from work. He had that look, the one he gets when he's closed a major deal. Confident. Certain. He poured himself a scotch and didn't offer me any, which should have been my first warning. We should move up the wedding, he said, not looking at me. Next week. Vegas, maybe. Just the 2 of us. My heart stopped. Why the rush? He turned then, and the look in his eyes made my blood run cold. It wasn't love. It wasn't excitement. It was something else entirely. Don't you think we've waited long enough? He said. I mean, considering your condition and all. The glass in my hand started shaking. He knew. Somehow, he knew about the pregnancy. But the way he was smiling told me that wasn't all he knew. I set the glass down carefully, trying to buy myself time. What condition? Declan's smile widened. He pulled out his phone, swiped a few times, then turned it toward me. There it was, a screenshot of the bank account. $50,000. My name. Elliot's routing number on the transfer. Funny thing about my brother, he said, settling into his leather chair like he was about to watch his favorite show. He always needs to brag. Even when he's running away. My mouth went dry. Declan, I can explain. No need. He took a sip of scotch. Elliot explained everything before he left. The party. The wine. The guest room. How you came onto him. How he felt guilty afterward, tried to do the right thing with the money. That's not what happened. The words exploded out of me. I was drunk, I barely remember. Right. The classic defense. He scrolled through his phone again. But see, Elliot sent me something else. Timestamped texts you sent him the next morning. He showed me the screen. My number. Messages I never sent. Last night was incredible. When can we do it again? Declan doesn't have to know. I never, those aren't real. Your number, though. And funny how you never mentioned that night to me. Not once in 2 months. He stood up, walked to the window. I wanted to see how long you'd keep lying. Wanted to see if you'd try to pass off his kid as mine. It could be yours, I whispered. He laughed. Actually laughed. We haven't slept together in 3 months, Mia. You've been too stressed with wedding planning, remember? I tried to remember, tried to think, but he was right. We'd been in a dry spell. I'd been so focused on work, on the wedding, on everything except. I've already told my parents, he continued. Told them I'm concerned about your mental state. The obsessive wedding planning, the secretive behavior, now this pregnancy you're hiding. They agree you need help. You told your parents? My voice cracked. And your boss? Camilla's an old family friend, you know. She's worried about you too. Thinks maybe you should take some time off. Camilla? The bookshop owner. She'd been acting strange all week, watching me when she thought I wasn't looking. Oh, and those 3 freelance clients who canceled this month? Weird coincidence, right? He turned back to me, eyes cold. Turner Industries, the Brewster Foundation, and that startup, what was it called? Oh right, Nexus Tech. Funny how they all suddenly decided to go in a different direction. I felt the walls closing in. Those clients were 60% of my income. You can't do this, I said. This is insane. Is it? You cheated on me with my brother. You took money from him. You're pregnant with his child and were planning to lie about it. He counted each point on his fingers. Any judge would say I'm being remarkably reasonable just asking for space. Judge? He pulled out an envelope from his jacket. Restraining order. Temporary, for now. You need to be out by tomorrow morning. This is my apartment too. Check the lease. It's in my name. You're just a month-to-month tenant. He headed for the door, then paused. Oh, and Mia? I'd be very careful what you say or do next. Elliot may be in Dubai, but he's got excellent lawyers here. Defamation suits can be so expensive. After he left, I sat in the dark for hours. Then I did something stupid. I called my friend Gina who works at Chase, asked her to pull Elliot's transaction history. What she found made my blood boil. 3 other women. 3 other transfers. All roughly the same amount. All in different cities where he'd opened hotels. All within 2 years of each other. I wasn't special. I was part of a pattern. I started documenting everything. The transfers. The dates. The women's names. I even found an old iPad of Elliot's hidden in the closet, still logged into his cloud. The recordings on it made me sick. Him and his friends, laughing about his conquests. His brother's women were apparently his specialty. By dawn, I had everything. Enough to bury him. Enough to show everyone exactly what kind of man Elliot Shaw really was. I was packing the evidence into manila envelopes when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Stop digging or the recordings from the guest room go public. Attached was a video file. My finger hovered over it, shaking. I opened the video. 30 seconds was all I could watch before slamming my phone face down on the counter. The angle was from above, a hidden camera in the guest room. The quality was clear enough to see faces. Clear enough to be devastating. My hands wouldn't stop trembling as I googled Illinois recording laws. 2-party consent state. Recording someone without their knowledge in a private space, that was a felony. But who would I report? Elliot was in Dubai. The house belonged to his parents. And I was the one on that video. I made my decision in that bathroom, staring at myself in the mirror. They wanted me to roll over. To disappear quietly. To let them control the narrative. Not happening. I spent the next 6 hours creating packages. Everything I'd found about Elliot's pattern, the recordings from his iPad, the financial transfers. I made 12 copies. One for each of Elliot's investors in his Dubai venture, found their names on LinkedIn. One for Declan's company HR. One for their parents. The rest for key people in their social circle, the country club president, their father's business partner, the society reporter who covered all their charity galas. The iPad recordings were damning. Elliot laughing about collecting the full set with his friend. Rating women like wine vintages. The worst one was from 6 months ago. Declan's too boring to notice anyway. Mia's been eyeing me since day one. That was a lie. But lies don't matter when you're building a narrative. I used the courier service, scheduled delivery for Monday morning when everyone would be at work, checking emails, ready to gossip. Then I drove to Gina's apartment with my suitcases and what was left of my dignity. You sure about this? She asked, reading through one of the packages. They destroyed my life over one drunk mistake. He's done this to multiple women. Yeah, but Mia. These recordings. You didn't have permission to access that iPad. And recording someone without consent in Illinois. I'm not recording anyone. These are Elliot's recordings. That you obtained illegally from a device that wasn't yours. I didn't care. The packages were already sent. Monday came like a hurricane. First call was at 7:43 a.m. Camilla, screaming about the package that arrived at the bookshop addressed to her. How dare I involve her business in my domestic drama? I was fired, effective immediately. Don't even think about asking for a reference. 8:15 a.m., Declan's company. Not HR calling to thank me for exposing a silent partner's misconduct. Their legal department, informing me I'd committed corporate espionage by sending confidential information about their stakeholders. 9 a.m., a call from a number I recognized. Elliot's lawyer. Ms. Hart, you've made a serious mistake. The recordings you've distributed were obtained through criminal trespass of digital property. The iPad was reported stolen months ago. We have the police report. That's a lie. Additionally, your harassment of Mr. Shaw's business associates constitutes tortious interference. The Dubai Investment Group is considering pulling out of a $20 million deal because of your packages. By noon, I had 17 missed calls. Not supporters. Not people saying they believed me. Everyone wanted to know why I was having a breakdown and attacking the Shaw family. The narrative had already been set. Declan had spent weeks laying groundwork, telling everyone I was unstable. Now I'd just proven him right. 4 p.m., I was sitting in Gina's kitchen when the police knocked. 2 officers, very polite, very professional. They had a warrant for my arrest. Criminal harassment. Cyberstalking. Theft of digital property. Interstate wire fraud for the courier service crossing state lines. This is insane, I told them as they read my rights. I'm exposing a predator. Ma'am, we're just here about the criminal complaints. You'll want to save that for your lawyer. At the station, they took my phone, my fingerprints, my dignity. Bail was set at $25,000. I had exactly $3,000 in savings. Gina couldn't cover the rest, she was already risking her job for pulling those bank records. I sat in holding for 6 hours before a public defender showed up. Young guy, overwhelmed, carrying 12 other cases. They're offering a deal, he said, not even sitting down. Plead to misdemeanor harassment, 2 years probation, no contact order. Otherwise, they're pursuing all charges. You're looking at potential prison time. Prison? For telling the truth? For how you told it. Ms. Hart, I've reviewed the evidence. Those recordings you sent? Each one is a separate count of illegal distribution. That's 48 counts across 12 packages. My phone buzzed on his desk. He glanced at it. There's more, he said, his face going pale. Child Protective Services just opened an investigation. CPS? I gripped the metal table. Why would they? Anonymous tip about a pregnant woman with unstable behavior who was just arrested for stalking. The public defender scrolled through his phone. They're requesting a psychological evaluation before the baby's born. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him this was all orchestrated, that the Shaws were pulling every string they could find. But I saw it in his eyes, he'd already written me off as another crazy ex-girlfriend. Gina bailed me out using a bondsman, putting her car up as collateral. The release conditions were brutal: surrender my passport, no contact with anyone named Shaw or their associates, weekly check-ins with pretrial services, and mandatory counseling. The counseling starts tomorrow, the clerk said, handing me a paper. Dr. Patricia Vance. Court appointed. You miss one session, you're back in here. Outside the station, reporters were waiting. Someone had tipped them off. The questions came like bullets. Ms. Hart, did you really stalk your ex-fiancé's brother to Dubai? Are you planning to extort the Shaw family? Is it true you secretly recorded intimate encounters? Gina shoved me into her car, but the damage was done. By evening, I was trending on local Twitter. # Naperville Stalker. Someone had leaked my mugshot. The comments were brutal. The next morning, I showed up for my first counseling session. Dr. Vance's office was in a strip mall between a liquor store and a payday loan place. The waiting room smelled like mildew and broken dreams. "So," Dr. Vance said, reading from a file, "you're here for stalking and harassment related to a romantic obsession." "That's not. Ms. Hart, I'm here to help, but you need to accept responsibility for your actions. The court says you sent threatening packages to multiple individuals." "They weren't threatening. They were evidence." She made a note. Every time I tried to explain, she made another note. By the end, I realized nothing I said mattered. The story had already been written. That afternoon, I went to clean out my apartment. Declan had changed the locks, but legally had to let me get my things. He stood in the doorway, watching me pack, smirking. "The recording from the guest room," I said quietly. "You knew about it?" "There's no recording," he said. "That was just Elliot being dramatic." "But you believed it, didn't you? Guilty conscience?" I stopped packing. "What?" "The video you got was from some P-word site. Similar body type to yours, face obscured. Elliot thought it would scare you into backing down," he laughed. "Instead, you went nuclear on fake evidence." My knees nearly buckled. I'd destroyed my life over a bluff. "Oh, and Mia?" He held up his phone. "Your mom's been calling me. She's very concerned about your mental state. Thinks maybe you should come stay with her for a while. Get some help." My mother, who hadn't spoken to me in 2 years over my living in sin with Declan. Now she was calling him? I checked my phone. 17 missed calls from her. Texts asking why I was doing this to such a nice family and reminding me that actions have consequences. The eviction notice was waiting at Gina's apartment. Her landlord wanted me out. Having someone with pending criminal charges was a lease violation. Gina tried to fight it, but her hands were tied. I found a weekly motel that would take cash. The kind of place where no one asks questions and everyone's running from something. 3 days later, the civil lawsuits arrived. Defamation from both brothers. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Tortious interference with business relations. Each seeking damages over $500,000. "You need a real lawyer," Gina said, reading through them. "With what money?" I'd applied for 20 jobs. The moment they Googled my name, the interviews ended. One manager actually laughed. "You're the stalker chick?" "Yeah, that's gonna be a no." My counselor suggested I journal my feelings. The pretrial officer suggested I seek stable employment. The CPS investigator suggested I consider what's best for the child. Everyone had suggestions. No one had help. 2 weeks into my motel stay, I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Mia? This is Elliot." My blood went cold. "I'm calling with a solution," he said. "One that helps everyone." "Go to hell. Even if it means keeping your baby?" I stayed silent. "My parents want to meet. Tomorrow. Their lawyer will have papers. Sign them, and all of this goes away." "What papers?" "The kind that make everyone happy. You'll see." He hung up before I could respond. The Shaw family lawyer's office was on the 40th floor of a building I couldn't afford to park under. I had to borrow money from Gina just for the train fare. My court-appointed lawyer had quit that morning. Conflict of interest, he said, which was code for the Shaws got to my firm. Mrs. Shaw sat at the conference table like a queen holding court. Mr. Shaw didn't even look up from his phone. 3 lawyers flanked them, papers spread across the mahogany like weapons. "Ms. Hart," the lead attorney began, sliding a document toward me. "We're prepared to drop all criminal charges and civil suits." I reached for it with shaking hands. "In exchange," he continued, "you'll sign over full custody to Elliot upon birth, agree to supervised visitation only, and accept a permanent restraining order preventing you from discussing the Shaw family publicly or privately." "You want me to give up my baby?" Mrs. Shaw finally spoke. "We want what's best for our grandchild. A stable home. 2 parents. Financial security." She looked at my frayed jacket, the budget phone in my hand. "Things you clearly can't provide." "Elliot's not even in the country. He's moving back next month. With his fiancé. They're prepared to raise the child properly." Fiancé. The word hit like a slap. "I won't sign this." Mr. Shaw looked up from his phone for the first time. "Then we'll see you in court. Where we'll present evidence of your mental instability, your criminal behavior, your inability to maintain employment or housing. The judge will see a pregnant woman living in a pay-by-week motel with pending felony charges versus a stable, married couple with unlimited resources. That's because you orchestrated all of this. Prove it, he said simply. The lead attorney pulled out another file. We also have these screenshots of texts. Not fake ones this time, real messages I'd sent Gina in rage. I want to destroy him. I'll make sure everyone knows what he is. He'll pay for this. Your friend was very cooperative once we explained the legal implications of helping you obtain financial records illegally, the lawyer said. Gina. She'd given them our messages. 24 hours, Mrs. Shaw said, standing. Decide if you want to be a small part of your child's life or no part at all. That night, I sat in my motel room staring at the custody papers. The criminal trial was in 3 days. My new public defender, an exhausted woman juggling 40 cases, had already told me I should take whatever deal they offered. The recordings you distributed? Each one's a felony count. You're looking at 15 years if they pursue everything. But those recordings proved what Elliot was. Illegally obtained evidence proves nothing except that you committed crimes to get it. I hadn't eaten in 2 days. Couldn't keep anything down anyway. The baby kicked, and I wondered if it knew how badly it already failed it. The next morning, local news ran a segment. Disturbed woman's campaign against prominent local family. They interviewed Declan, who sat in our old apartment looking concerned and hurt. They mentioned my arrest record, my history of erratic behavior, completely fabricated, my obsession with the Shaw family. They also interviewed other women. Women who said they'd dated Elliot Shaw. Women who said he was nothing but a gentleman. I recognized one of them. She'd been on my list of his victims. Now she was defending him on camera. How much did they pay you? I whispered at the screen. My phone rang. The courthouse. Ms. Hart? You missed your pretrial check-in yesterday. I hadn't missed it. I'd been at the Shaw meeting. But the officer wouldn't hear it. You need to report immediately or a warrant will be issued. I rushed downtown, explained the confusion. The officer pulled up my file, frowned. Says here you missed your mandatory counseling too. That's not until Thursday. According to this, it was rescheduled to yesterday. You should have received notice. I never got notice. But it didn't matter. The violation was recorded. At the emergency hearing that afternoon, the prosecutor used my pattern of noncompliance to request bail revocation. The judge gave me one more chance, house arrest with ankle monitoring. But I don't have a house. I'm in a motel. Then you better find one by tomorrow, or you'll be held until trial. Outside the courthouse, a woman approached. Professional suit, kind smile, CPS badge. Ms. Hart? I'm here about your pregnancy. Given your current situation, we need to discuss options. Options? She handed me a brochure. Voluntary relinquishment. You could choose the family. Ensure your baby has the best life possible. The family. Like I didn't know exactly which family she meant. Think about it, she said. Sometimes the most loving thing a mother can do is let go. As she walked away, my phone buzzed. A message from Elliot. Final offer. Sign tomorrow or we take the baby anyway. Your choice, be a footnote in their life or a cautionary tale. Attached was a photo. A nursery. Beautiful, expensive, perfect. Already decorated. Already waiting. The name on the wall made my blood freeze. Baby Shaw. Not even born, and they'd already erased me. I stared at that nursery photo until my eyes burned. They'd already won. The game was over before I even knew we were playing. That night, I did something I swore I'd never do. I called my mother. Mia? Her voice was ice. I heard about your situation. Mom, I need help. Just temporarily. Come home. We'll figure this out. The relief nearly broke me. Until I arrived at her house in Rockford and found Declan's car in the driveway. They were sitting in her living room like old friends. Tea and cookies on the coffee table. Photos of our cancelled wedding spread between them. We're just worried about you, sweetheart, my mother said. Declan explained everything. The drinking. The delusions. The affair you imagined with his brother. Imagined? Declan pulled out medical forms. Your counselor agrees. Delusional disorder with persecution complex. It's all here in her report. Dr. Vance. The court-appointed counselor. She'd been theirs from the start. Sign the papers, Mia, my mother said. Give the baby a chance at a normal life. You're sick. You need help. I looked between them. My mother, who'd chosen their story over mine. Declan, who'd orchestrated every move. The papers on the table, waiting for my surrender. Where do I sign? The relief on their faces was almost worth it. The next morning, I met with the Shaw family lawyers. Different papers this time, full relinquishment of parental rights, effective upon birth. In exchange, all charges dropped, all lawsuits withdrawn, and a stipend of $2,000 a month for 5 years. Hush money disguised as charity. The stipend is conditional on compliance with the NDA, the lawyer explained. One word about this situation, and you owe us everything back plus penalties. I signed every page. What else could I do? Fight them with no money, no home, no support, facing decades in prison? Mrs. Shaw actually smiled. You're doing the right thing. The child will want for nothing. Except its mother. But I didn't say that. The criminal charges vanished within hours. The civil suits withdrawn. My Google results scrubbed clean within a week. The Shaw's PR firm was thorough. To the world, none of it had ever happened. I moved into a studio apartment in Rockford. Got a job at a gas station, night shifts, where no one would recognize me. Deleted social media. Became a ghost. The baby came 2 weeks early. The hospital had already been instructed. I was allowed to hold him for 10 minutes before the social worker arrived with the Shaws. Elliot didn't even come. Just his parents and their lawyer, ready with more papers. The birth certificate would list Elliot as father, his new wife as mother. I was literally erased from my son's origin story. We'll send photos, Mrs. Shaw said, holding my son. Through the lawyer. As agreed. I nodded, unable to speak. The supervised visits they'd promised? Those ended after the third one. I seemed unstable. I upset the child. Their lawyer sent a letter suggesting I focus on healing instead of disrupting the baby's routine. 6 months later, I was restocking cigarettes at 3 a.m. when a woman came in. Expensive coat, nervous energy. She bought a pregnancy test and broke down crying at the counter. I'm sorry, she said. It's just my boyfriend's family. They're powerful. If they find out. I looked at her, really looked. Young. Scared. Familiar. What's his name? I asked. She hesitated. Elliot Shaw. My chest tightened. The pattern, continuing. I could have warned her. Could have broken my NDA, told her everything, tried to save her from my fate. The old me would have. Instead, I rang up her purchase. That'll be $15.99. She left, and I watched her go. Another woman about to learn what justice really costs when you're fighting people who own the system. My phone buzzed. A notification from my lawyer. Photos, as promised. My son, their son now, taking his first steps. He had my eyes, Elliot's smile, and a life I'd never be part of. I deleted the photos without saving them. It was easier that way. People ask me sometimes why I left Naperville. Why I work nights. Why I never talk about my past. I tell them I'm starting over. They think it's inspiring. They don't know I signed my silence in a courthouse bathroom, sold my truth for $2,000 a month, and gave away the only thing that mattered because fighting back cost more than I could pay. The Shaws won. They always do. But sometimes, late at night, I write it all down. Every detail. Every document. Every recording I kept copies of before turning over my devices. It's all in a safety deposit box in a bank they don't know about, in a state I've never lived in. Just in case. Because patterns have a way of repeating. And somewhere out there, another woman is about to meet Elliot Shaw at a family party. She'll think he's charming. She'll drink the wine he pours. She'll wake up confused. When that happens, and it will, she'll fight back like I did. She'll lose like I did. But maybe, just maybe, she'll be smarter about it. The NDA expires in 4.5 years. The statute of limitations on some crimes is 7. I can be patient. I learned that from them. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.